Hey there, today we're going to be talking just a little bit about ship shields, not to be confused with personal shields. See, these are your personal shields. It's got a little picture of a person in front of them. There's kind of like a planet in the background, but yeah, anyhow, these are the shields for your person, but we're going to talk about these shields, which are for your ship. All right, and basically what we're going to talk about is the different types of shields. Let me think here for a second. Okay, basically, there are what? 4 types of shields that you can equip. Well, actually, there's a little bit more than that, but some of them are kind of like special cases, so we're not going to deal with them. But basically, there's 4 types of shields you can use, which are the generic type that you get when you first get a ship, and they're, well, as the name implies, they're generic, like these, I think. Are these generic? Yes, okay, see, these are just regular, standard, common, white, nothing special about them. And indeed, there is nothing special about them. They are balanced between all their, regeneration, capacity, and bleed through, and resistances. Excuse me. Anyhow, that's not the ship I've currently got equipped, though. I'm using this ship, and this ship has resilient shields. Okay, so basically there's generic shields, resilient shields, regenerative shields, and what's the other one called? Something with the C. Covariant shields. And how that works is the generic, as I said, are generic. Resilient shields, I'm going to have to talk a little bit about bleed through. So if you look here, actually no, not look there, look at this one. And let's go to more details. Alright, so look on this. You'll see it says maximum shield capacity is just about 4,000. 10% bleed through. And then 195.8 shield regeneration every 6 seconds. Okay, now as you may have guessed, regenerative shields have more regeneration, but they take a hit in capacity. Covariant shields have greater capacity, but they don't regenerate as much. Generic shields, like I said, they're balanced between them. Resilient shields, however, they take a very minor hit to capacity and regeneration, but in return, they only have 5% bleed through. So what this bleed through means is basically this. You're in your ship, everything's cool. Klingons show up and they're like, you suck, pew pew pew, and they pew pew you a couple times. Okay, energy weapon hits your shield. Bleed through works like this. 90% of the damage goes to the shields, 10% of the damage goes to the hull. That's what the bleed through is, and that's before it deals with resistances and whatnot. So, like if a torpedo hits you, shields have a 75% kinetic resistance. So a torpedo hits you, 90% of that goes to the shields, and then 75% of that is negated instantly by the kinetic resistance, and 10% of that goes to the hull, and then whatever the hull's resistances are will then further reduce that 10%. But with the resilient shield, let's go back up to the resilient shield. This one. More details. Alright, this is a resilient shield array. This one has 5% absorption, 5% bleed through. So what this means is, instead of 10% bleed through, 5% goes to the hull, and 5% just gets ignored completely. And then the other 90% goes to the shields and deals with shield resistance and blah, blah, blah. And the 5% bleed through then deals with the hull resistance, blah, blah, blah. In addition, this shield also has anti-proton and phaser resistance. So 20% more resistance to anti-proton and phaser damage. So again, that 90% hits the shields, and then it has to deal with the shield resistances. So this one has better shield resistances for phaser damage and anti-proton damage. So yay. But these don't affect the hull up here. This one also has a bonus to capacity, which increases its maximum capacity, which probably offsets the, I believe it's a 5% penalty that they have for being resilient. Was it 5%? I think it was 5%. 5% less regeneration and capacity, and then 5% less bleed through. Yeah, see, it says right here, they have a lower overall capacity and regeneration rate than standard shields, but are good for maximizing the value of shield regenerating abilities and keeping your hull strength high in protracted battles. I like these. These are nice. However, the bleed through is vulnerable to transphasic weapons, which have additional bleed through attached to the weapon itself, so more damage gets transferred through with transphasic weapons. But yeah, that's basically what you got with shields. But if you look at your stats, oops, that was weird. Okay, if you look at your stats, right here, these are your shield resistances. All right, yay, shield resistances. Wait, are these shield resistances or are these hull resistance? That's a good question. Let's beam up on to the ship. Actually, let's change ships. This is one of my special ships. It's a green ship that you get that I got from a past festival. Appropriately enough, it came from the Winter Festival. Wait, was this one from the Winter Festival? I think this one was a Winter Festival, and it's the Breen ship, so it's got cold technology. Is this one with my cold technology on it? No. Is it you? It's you. It's got the different color nacelles. See, these would be the super cool combat impulse engines. It's part of the Breen set. And then we got this one right here, which is the polarized parabolic deflector, Mark 6. I got the Breen set a long time ago on this character. And then we have the shields here, which are the dielectric oscillation resilient shields. See, they're resilient, but they're dielectric oscillation shields. Ooh. And I've got 3 of the 4 set. So hooray! It's a Seraphin. But I think we'll fly the Angry Tiger. I like that ship too. It's cool. What type of shield does it have? Oh, you've got the older one. Cool, I guess. Actually, let's get in the Dragonfly. This is the starter ship. I've always liked the Miranda class. What's it got on it? Resilient, just standard resilient shields. Okay, cool. And then it's got a standard warp core, nothing special. Efficient impulse engines, woohoo. Neutrino deflector array, and like shields, all these things have like different types to them, and the different types have different effects. Just look at just look at them and read what it does. Like for example, this one gives you more hull capacity, so it increases the hit points of your ship. Yay! It gives you more control expertise, which increases your resistance to control effects and improves your control effects. See, here you go. Here's control effects: hold, disable, repel, slow, turn rate penalty, confuse, placate. Placate is basically like de-aggro. For example, for a mage, when you use that, I can't remember what it was called. It basically does damage and also reduces your threat by a large amount. That's what placating is. Confusion is, of course, like a charm. They're just as likely to attack their allies as they are you. And then it does the same thing with drain expertise, resistance, and the effectiveness of your abilities. And then it's got plus 15 starship perception, which improves detection of cloaked ships. Ooh, cloaked ships. And there are, again, different types of deflector arrays. This is a neutrino deflector array with additional hull capacity bonus. So that's what the 7.5 hull capacity bonus comes from. What's this one got? Oh, wait, this is the part of the Breen set. Let's not look at sets right now. Let's just look at the standard stuff. What about this one? Again, that's neutrino. And what's the Avalon got? Positron deflector array with a control X and a SCAP. SCAP is probably shield capacity. Let's look. Yep, shield capacity improves shield hit points. This one also gives you hull capacity and shield restoration. And control expertise, which is the other bonus that it gets, which again improves your resistance to and ability to use control effects. So, yay. This, by the way, is the Ambassador class refit. The Enterprise C, for those who care. What's it got for a shield? Resilient shields. As you can tell, I favor resilient shields. And if I don't have resilient shields available, I favor covariant shields because they have more capacity. Regeneration in combat, in my opinion, is kind of stupid because it's such a slow rate anyways, and you're constantly taking damage, which offsets the regeneration, so it's like, might as well not be there. But that's just me. If you want to use them, be my guest. But I'll laugh at you. Aha, wait, I was going to fly the Dragonfly. Let's ready that starship. Now let's beam up there and look at what that starship has. You can look at the basic stats while you're on ground. But the finalized stats, you want to look at them while you're in space, because then it looks at all of like your consoles and your skills and all that stuff, and then it finally tells you what the real picture is on your defenses and whatnot. See, this is my little starter ship. It's a tiny little guy. He's like, hey, check me out. I'm tiny little ship. Let's get some speed. Woo! This is like a mini escort ship. Excuse me. Yeah, that's right. I want to look at our stats. Here we go. My resistances suck. I've got 2% resistance to disruptor damage and plasma damage. So if I'm fighting Klingons or Romulans, that's useful. But not so much if I'm fighting the Cardassians. They do like a combo disruptor phaser damage, but I believe their damage counts as phaser damage with the additional disruptor effect. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. What were they called? Like spiral disruptors or something like that? Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe they're considered disruptors with the bonus effect of phasers. I can't remember. That's the trick with like the different weapon types. You gotta know like what type it is so that your resistances are prepared for it. See, I've got 26.25 stealth resistance detection. Yay. My power transfer is 5 per second. Remember we talked about that in the last video. I should say I talked about that. My defense rating is 20.3. What does that say? If an attacker's accuracy rating is greater than a target's defense rating, hit chance is 100%. If an attacker's accuracy rating is less than a target's defense rating, hit chance is calculated as 100 divided by 100 plus defense rating minus accuracy rating. Yeah. Hit chance can never drop below 25%. Also, while we're talking about shields, shield resistances cap at 75%. So damage to your shields can never drop below 25%. Meaning if I hit your shields for 1,000 points of damage, the most your shields can block of that damage is 750. So at least 250 would always get through. But again, that's if you take 1,000 points of damage to your shields. But that's not really how it works. It depends on the weapons you have and your skills, blah, blah, blah. And of course, if a shot misses, then your shields are fine. But again, 90% of energy weapons are shunted to your shields first, and then 10% goes to your hull for the resistances of those to deal with them. So if I shot if I shot a big blast, 1,000 points of damage at you, 900 points of that damage would be directed to your shields. However, that doesn't mean your shields would take 900 points of damage. 900 points of damage would be directed to the shields, and then the shield resistances would be calculated to further reduce that damage, and that damage would be applied to your shield hit points. Where are my shield hit points? Here they are. Depending on which side of the shields they hit. Like if they hit me in the back, then that's where the damage would be applied to the back shields right here. But again, the resistances would be applied before the damage was applied. So if 900 points hits you and you've got 50% resistances, that means 450 points will be subtracted from your shields. 450 points just go poof as far as I'm aware. If anyone knows otherwise, please let me know. There's my accuracy rating, 10%. Whoa. Or 10. See, if I were shooting myself right now... Oh, no, I'm not moving because I turned my engines off. See, now as I increase speed, yay! Now, let me see what happens when I go into engines or speed mode. Yeah, see, it's going up again. Because more power to the engines means you're going faster at full throttle, so going faster, my defense is going up. Now, if I put it on attack, it's going to start dropping slowly. And my defense rating goes back down. Even further than before because I'm going at less speed. That's right. I did some looking up to check what I said about power levels. Okay, at 100 power, your weapons do double damage. At 50 power, they do standard damage. At 25 power, they do half damage. Okay, so if you have a balanced setting, you're doing standard damage, but just a couple of shots and you'll be doing half damage until your power level goes back up. I didn't actually see what the numbers were for engines. They didn't cover that. They just were talking about weapons at the time. So yeah, this will increase your DPS because you'll be going to 100 damage, but only for the first shot. The first shot will do double damage, and then your power levels are going to drop by whatever that weapon drops your power levels by. And the next shot's going to do a little bit less than double damage, etc., etc., until your powers regenerate from the warp core. Power gets shunted from the warp core to the capacitor, and then as the capacitor fills up, it fills your weapon battery up. Yay! So yeah, that's how that works. And I believe it's the same for the shields. I believe your resistances double at 100 shield, and they're standard at 50 shield, and they're halved at 25 shield. I think someone mentioned that in passing. I don't really know what all auxiliary power does number-wise. I mean, it's auxiliary power. Okay, there you go. It's more of a science officer ability at first glance, but even so, I would say no, because you still want DPS, and DPS is primarily going to be coming from your weapons, unless you're just like a torpedo boat, like I mentioned. But if you've got beams and whatnot, then you're going to want to be doing as much damage as possible, because that's going to be where the majority of your damage comes from, so having higher weapon power will help. But we're not talking about weapon power, we're talking about shields. Okay, yeah, see, I'm at 27 out of 25 engine power, and my defense rating is roughly half of what it was. A little more than half. Okay, so yeah. Movement, flight speed, oh, here's my turn rate. Let's drop this down to half. Yeah, it has no effect because my engine power is so slow. Crank it up. There we go. Turn rate goes up a little bit. Flight speed goes up a little more. Actually, while we're here, let's talk about engines for a second. Again, there are different types of engines, just like there are different types of shields and deflector arrays. One of the types is combat engines. Combat engines receive a bonus at low engine power. There's also hyper impulse, which these are okay. Let's look at the efficient impulse. More details, please. This, by the way, it's a mission assignment reward. Just don't ask me which one because I don't remember. Okay, these utility engines drain less power than standard engines, which effectively increase the power levels of all other ship systems, bonus to weapons, shields, and auxiliary. The lower your power level in a given system, the more of a bonus you get. Again, it's a dynamic bonus. This engine grants no bonus if your power level in a given system is above 75. Okay, see, I get a bonus to everything because everything is at 50. Okay, full impulse. Wait, does this have bonuses on it? No, it doesn't say that. Okay, so these are only Mark 4, by the way, so they're crap anyways. Okay, improves your sector space travel and full impulse speeds. Oh wait, no, these are skills that affect starship sector speed. No, wait, I need to stop reading one word and then assuming that I know what the entire page says. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of an off day again. I'm kind of feverish today, which means that whatever I had isn't actually gone. It's still here. It's just kind of clinging. And I don't like it, to be honest. But, okay. Full impulse draws the power from all of your systems and redirects it to engines. So let's go full impulse real fast. Oops, I can't. I got this up. Now watch my power levels as they all start to drop, except for engines. Engines going up while all the others drop. That's what full impulse does. That's why I say it's not a good idea to use that to get into combat until you're more advanced in the game, because all your subsystems are offline right now, except for engines. Which means if I use full impulse to warp, or not to warp, but to sprint into a group of enemies, and they see me and open fire, they're going to be doing extra damage, and I cannot defend myself. However, I will immediately drop out of full impulse when they do that, and then it will take several seconds for my energy levels to go back up. So I will be at a disadvantage for a few seconds after the fight starts. It's not the best thing to do. However, I mentioned that starship trait that I have where I can go full impulse, and for every 2 seconds I'm at full impulse or full throttle, I get bonus damage. Yay! I mean, it's only going to affect the first shot because as soon as your throttle level changes, it. Actually, no, I need to test that, see if it's throttle level or speed, because it says throttle level, but I would assume that speed would count too. It could just be worded poorly. I don't know. But anyhow, let's take a look at all of our other stats. Okay. Starship hull restoration improves my hull healing. I got 20 on that. Hull capacity, I got 8, which increases my maximum hit points somewhat, which is 10,225. Not bad for a tiny little ship. See that? Woo! It's my Miranda class. And then starship damage control improves passive hull regeneration. So the hull will regenerate so many points. Well, actually, let's look. It should say up here somewhere. Hull repair rate is 60% per minute. Determines how fast damage to your hull repairs. Again, that's 60% per minute. I believe it's half that in combat. I think. And I believe this is also half in combat. So that would be what, 90.1 every 6 seconds in combat? 90.1 is not a whole lot when you look at the maximum of each side. Let's take the shields off and see what happens. I have no shields. Okay, so these are my hull resistances. So my hull resists 2% kinetic damage, 2% disruptor damage, and 2% plasma damage, and it resists nothing of any other damage type. Now, what is physical damage? Damage to damage your hit points take from that type of damage. It doesn't actually tell me what physical damage is compared to kinetic damage. Kinetic damage is what torpedoes do. Like these do kinetic damage, which means 75% of that gets resisted by the shield. So, I mean, torpedoes are not the weapon to use against shields. So, first off, oh, these got 40% bonus shield penetration. Yay! I'm not sure exactly how that works. I just know that it means more damage goes through the shields via the bleed-through effect. But I don't know exactly how the damage is, so I'm not going to be able to tell you that. Let's put the shields back on because I'm feeling kind of naked. Yay, shields. Let's warp out into sector space, just because. It's my little light cruiser. Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew. You can mount cannons on a light cruiser. Can you mount dual cannons on a... Can you mount dual heavies? These are dual cannons. Okay, this can go to a battle cruiser carrier, destroyer, dreadnought carrier, or cruiser, escort, escort carrier, fighter, light cruiser. I can put these on my light cruiser. Just put them on my light cruiser. Let's not pick a fight though. Where's the Azura at? It's over here somewhere. Let's see if I can go inside and just start shooting at the Orion pirates. Kind of fun. Pew pew pew. Get that crap off my screen, please. Okay, where is the Azura? It's there somewhere. Should be over here in these asteroids, if I remember correctly. Can I warp in and just start shooting shit? See, it's got beginner consoles, or not called stations. It's got beginner stations for my bridge officers. Yay! Okay. Getting closer. No, I can't just go in. So you know what? Incoming hail. Oh, new car. Fuck that. Let's get our ass back to Seoul. Anyhow, all I wanted to talk about was shields, and I talked about shields. So again, there are like 4 types basically. You got your standard shields, which are nothing special, just standard shields. You got your covariants, which have a bonus to capacity but a penalty to regeneration. You got regenerative, which has a bonus to regeneration and a penalty to capacity. I think it's a 10% penalty and a 10%, or is it a 10% penalty and a 10% bonus, or is it a 10% penalty and a 20% bonus? I don't remember the exact numbers. Anyways, covariant has more capacity, less regeneration. Regenerative has more regeneration and less capacity. And then you have resilient, which has a slight penalty to regeneration and capacity, but reduces the bleed through effect, which I find pretty cool. Where am I? Oh, went the wrong way. Well, not entirely the wrong way. I was off a little bit. I wanted to go left, but instead I went up left. And knowing what type of shield, basically what I'm saying is, don't just get a new shield and just slap it on your ship without looking at it, because you won't realize its weaknesses if you do that. I mean, obviously, if you rely on shield regeneration to keep you alive in combat, slapping on a covariant shield, not so good, because you're not going to have as much regeneration. You're going to have a penalty to regeneration. And if I can find an example of each type, I'll show you. But it won't be the best example because it'll be different marks. The different mark on a shield affects the bonuses that it gets significantly in some cases. Like a Mark II shield ain't going to have nothing on a Mark 12 shield. Whoa. Boosh. I go check my bank, but I already checked in my bank earlier. I didn't have any shields in my bank, unfortunately. Let's see what we got. We got that Black Epsilon has this is a Mark 10 resilient shield. Okay. Which gives it 4,800 capacity and 218 regeneration. Let's see if I can find another Mark 10 shield. What do you have? That's a Mark 6 shield. No, thank you. That's a Mark 9 shield, and this is a standard shield. No resilient. Okay. But it's also got the bonus to capacity, which again, that throws the numbers off because the bonuses, well, you can't really prepare for them until you see them. See, this is a Mark 7 resilient shield with a capacity bonus, so it has 4,200 capacity. Again, its regeneration is 191.3. What does Black Epsilon have? Mark 10 has 218.4 compared to 191.3. And again, this is a Mark 10 compared to a Mark 7. It's got 600 more points of capacity, so there's that. Angry Tiger, what do you have? Resilient shield, Mark 11. 5280 capacity, 228.7 regeneration. Awesome. Okay, what do you have? Mark 10 resilient. Okay. Does not have a capacity bonus. Oh, it's got reg 2, which is regeneration, so it has bonus regeneration to it. So notice how it has 297.8 shield regeneration, which is almost 100 points more than this guy, because he's got 2 bonuses to regeneration. Okay, what's this one got? Resilient. I am just loaded with resilience. I guess I'm just a resilient kind of guy. So the only ones I can really show you are resilient and standard, unfortunately. Do I have any ships in dry dock? I have the light cruiser. But I don't want to pull it out right now, because it will just have standard shield equipment, so yeah, it wouldn't help. What about the Odin? What does the Odin have? Regenerative shield array Mark 10. Alright, let's take this off of the shuttle, because its stats are reduced because it's on the shuttle. More details. Alright, regenerative shield array. Mark 10, 3,375 on the capacity, 281.3 on the regeneration. Okay. So that was 30, let's round up, say 3,400 and 280. Okay. Didn't I have just like a standard Mark 10 somewhere? That's a Mark 10. But it's got a capacity bonus, 4,800. And it's part of a, oh wait, no, it's not part of a set. I thought that was my die. Where's my dielectric? Is that on this one? I don't remember. Crap. Oh, here's a regular 10. Here, okay, here's a regular 10. It's got regeneration on it, but we'll just ignore the regeneration for now. Okay, Mark 10 has 4963.8 for its capacity, and it's got a double regenerative bonus, so it's at 287.8, or no, is that 8? No, 297.8. And again, this one was 391.9 regeneration. So this one, being the same mark and with a double bonus to regeneration, still does not have as much regeneration as a regenerative shield array. However, the regenerative shield array does not have as much capacity as a resilient shield array. And the resilient shield array, as you can see, does not have a capacity bonus. So they're looking at those two side by side, you get an idea of the differences between them. And again, covariant has more capacity but less regeneration, which I like that because I don't rely on regeneration. I rely on my bridge officer abilities to heal my shields. And having more shield capacity means I have more time to click the button before they're destroying my hull. And you can also modify that with your consoles. Yeah, okay, engineering consoles here. This will increase the resistances of my hull. So down here, if you look down here, we got 11.6, 11.6, 11.6, 11.6. And if you look at here, it's 13.1 phaser disruptor plasma tetrion. And if you look here, it's tetrion, plasma, phaser, disruptor. Now, if you mouse over one of these, it'll tell you this value will be lower than the total amount of resistant rating shown on your abilities and items. That is due to diminishing returns. All right. So you can stack these all you want, but every one you stack adds a little bit less, and a little bit less, and a little bit less. What does this do? This is power transfer rate. Okay, cool. So see, this one, its power transfer rate is 135% because this one is a bonus of 35%, which is 6.8 per second. I think it was at 8.8. Anyways, it's something per second. It's a little bit higher than it normally is. This is not a bonus. This is what your actual rate is. So if it says 100%, that means it's normal, not double. If it were a 100% bonus, that means it would be double. Actually, it would be triple because the bonus itself would be double added on to 100% for normal, which is 300%. But anyhow, see, this one tells me I have no shields. Well, of course, because I'm not actually using that ship right now. But that is nonsense. Were you the one with my No, it was you, wasn't it? Yeah, dielectric. Okay. Let's take this off. Put it on the Avalon, which means take these off. Look at the color of the of the warp nacelles, how they're blue. Put this on, they should change. Well, the whole ship changes actually. Well, that's cool. Certain things have a visual effect. See, now if I take these off and put this one back on, and then take this and put it in visual shields. Pa-bum! Now it's got a breen texture. And it's got the breen effect on the warp nacelles. It's pretty cool. And it will change my my warp trails when I'm moving through space. They'll be that blue color. See, this is a breen ship. Notice how the textures are the same? Yeah. So, shields! Yay! Whoops. Avalon. Give me that back. That was on you, I believe. Not you, you. Put that back. Again, changes the texture somewhat. See, this one has one of my brain shields too. You can go back and redo missions to get rewards. You cannot equip more than one of this item. Well, of course not. It's a shield, but where'd you go? Avalon? No, not Avalon. I'm Seraphim. Let's see. This one's different, and it's equipped on different ships, so it's okay. But anyhow, again, look at your shields before you equip them. Make sure it's the type of shield that you want. Check the numbers. Check the numbers. Obviously, if you rely on shield capacity, then you want something like a covariant shield. And like I said, there are a couple other special variant shields out there, like the, what was it called? The Paratrinic, I think it is. That's a special case. It's not a standard shield. It's like it's a mission reward that you get. I'm not really including it in the shield types because it's not something that you're just going to loot. At least as far as I know, you're never going to pick up a Paratrinic shield array as loot unless you get it as a mission reward. There is a specific mission that gives you the Paratrinic shield array. It does have really good capacity, but I can't remember if there's anything else special about it. There's also a Reman shield that you can get from one of the Romulan missions. I don't see it. And then there's shields like this. This is a personal shield, but it's phase shifted personal shield. It also protects you against psionic damage. This is, again, a mission reward. You're not going to run around looting these things from regular enemies. You'll get them as mission rewards in certain cases. They're unique. But that'll cover it for this video. Oh, actually, one last thing. Just remember, there are different types of deflectors too. I don't know what they all are, but just look at them. I mean, obviously, if you don't have a cloaking capable ship, you don't need cloaking. If you don't deal with cloaked ships a lot, you don't really need starship perception because that just helps you detect cloaked ships. But if you're not dealing with cloaked ships, you don't need to detect them. But things like if you use a lot of like energy drain abilities and other control effects, then you want something that boosts your control abilities and whatnot. Again, impulse engines. There are impulse engines. There are combat impulse engines, and there are hyper impulse engines. I cannot remember what hyper impulse engines do. Do I have one of those on any of my ships? How about you? What do you got? Combat impulse engines. All right, here we go. Combat impulse engines are faster than other engines while at low engine power. All impulse engines increase their speed and turn rate with your engine power level. This one gives you plus 13.7 flight speed and plus 21 flight turn rate. Yay! And these are faster at low power levels. So if you change your power levels to favor attack, you notice how your engine power level drops down to 25. These would be more effective than, for example, a regular set of standard impulse engines or even hyper impulse engines. But let's see if I can find some. Here's a regular impulse. These are the Breen impulse. They're combat impulse. Yay! How about you? What do you got? Efficient impulse. Again, that's a mission reward. And these are just impulse engines. and it has a bonus to full, which is full impulse flight speed, full impulse flight speed. So when you go at full impulse, you'll be going faster than a regular impulse engine would at full impulse because it's got the bonus. Probably didn't need to tell you that, but just in case. What's Black Epsilon got? Prototype. Oh wait, no. Yeah, that's right. Prototype gravitic modulation impulse engines. What the hell are those? Honestly, I have no idea. Let's see if we can get some details on it. Romulan research into Borg propulsion technology led to this prototype engine design. Okay, this must obviously be a mission reward. So when you come across something that has a weird name that doesn't seem to match the normal patterns, it's probably a special mission reward to just make it look more special. This is like based with Borg and Romulan technology. Let's see. Improves the thrust efficiency of the engines compared to other engines of its size. So I'm guessing it increases your acceleration. And it's got full impulse flight speed, flight turn rate, yay, and flight speed. Well, that's not the most helpful description, but yeah, anyhow. I don't have any hyper. Let me go check the bank. I've got some warp cores over here. Yeah, again, there are different types of warp cores, just like there are different types of everything else. Like we have here, what is this? Hyper injection warp core, and this one is a overcharged warp core. This is also an overcharged warp core, but they have different bonuses. See, this one has let's see, A to S, which is auxiliary to shield. Okay, it's got additional auxiliary power. It's got +5 to the maximum auxiliary power. That's because it's overcharged, which allows your auxiliary power to exceed 125. Let's see. And then it has Starship Engine Subsystem Performance, which is the SEP, Starship Engine Subsystem Performance, which is increases. It's a bonus engine power, basically, is what it is. And it adds 7.5% of your auxiliary power to your shield power as a bonus. So if your shields are set to 100, or no, excuse me, if your auxiliary power is set to 100, it will add 7.5 power to your shields as a bonus. So I mean that's nice. That's what the A to S means. This one, on the other hand, is the same type of engine or warp core, but it's different bonuses. Overcharged gives you additional. It gives you additional auxiliary power at low auxiliary power. Maximum auxiliary power, which allows you to exceed the 125 maximum. And it's got electroplasma system, which increases the power transfer rate, which is again how faster your power levels will shift. And then you got this thing right here, which is not a overcharged, it's a hyper injection warp core. And this one, what does it do? Let's see, again, it's got auxiliary to shields. It's got sector speed, which increases how fast you can move on the galaxy map. It's got W cap, which is your it's weapon capacitor, weapon power buff, which repairs offline weapon systems and gives you +15 weapon power setting for 10 seconds. You can do that once every 4 minutes. And okay, what's the hyper injection part? The hyper injection part is engine. No. Yeah, it's engine. It's engine power. Okay. So again, it gives you additional engine power, plus it gives you bonus maximum engine power, and that's just from being a hyper injection warp core. Then as a bonus, it has the auxiliary power to shields, which again is 7.5% of your auxiliary power setting to your shield power. And it's got the weapon capacitor buff, which is that little thing on the bottom of the screen there. Do I have any other warp cores? Oh, there's this one. This is a field stabilizing warp core. This one does shield power. So basically, the different warp cores affect the power levels. Like hyper injection affects your engines. Overcharge affects your auxiliary power. This one, what was it called? Field stabilizing affects your shields. Blah blah blah. So I guess I was originally going to talk about engines, but I'm going to talk about all this stuff. I'm going to talk about item classification, I guess. So yeah, different types of shields, they each do different things. Different types of engines, they have different effects. Different types of warp cores, again, different effects. And those effects are different from the bonuses because, as you can see, this is an overcharged warp core right here, but it's got auxiliary to shields plus Starship engine subsystem performance. And this one has EPS. Both the same type, the icon's the same, but the bonuses are different. So yeah. Same with shields. You know, there are different types of shields and they will all do different things, but they can all have different types of bonuses as well. So you can have a regenerative shield with these bonuses, but you could also have a covariant shield with these same bonuses. Imagine having a covariant shield with two capacity bonuses. That thing would be shields for days. Anyhow, let me go see if I can find a hyper impulse engine. I might have one in the bank. I might not. Wait, actually, let me go to the bottom of my list. Do I have any engines down here? No, because I'm a loser. I'm an engineless loser. What a loser. Anyhow. Access bank. Oop-a-doo. That's the account bank. This is the character bank. Here we go. Do I have any engines? No. Is that the? Oh yeah. Okay. Here's a Riemann prototype covariant shield. This is a covariant shield. All right. It's got. This is a Mark 10. It's got 4950 capacity, but it's only got 140 point something shield resist or regeneration. Yeah. It's like. Again, this was a mission reward. Yay! So it's a special type of covariant shield, but it's got a lot of capacity and almost no regeneration to speak of. Again, cut that in half for combat, so 140 would be what, 70 points regeneration in combat. Yay! And that's console is engineering, ablative hull armor. Those are all consoles. And here we go, disruptor beams and plasma beams. And polaron cannons. Yay! Positron deflector. And that looks like everything. Oh well. Anyways, like I said, before you put gear on, look at it, see what effect it has on your ship, because if you're used to using one type of equipment and you put a different type on by accident without looking at it, you might get a really sudden drop in your performance in battle. And fighting, for example, if you're fighting the Borg, that's not the time to start muddling through your inventory trying to find the shield that you can actually get some use out of rather than just exploding all the time. So yeah, that should do it for this video. I've babbled enough. So hopefully you're feeling better than you were last night, and hopefully I'll be feeling better than I was today. I'm already feeling a little bit better, but yeah, I've still got a fever. And it wasn't all that hot out today either, so I'm not sure what's wrong with me. I've taken some flu medicine. I've taken some NyQuil, and it doesn't seem to help. It just helps for a day or two, and then it comes back. So I don't know what it is. Anyhow, peace out, and I'll catch you later. Ciao.